Badminton. I used to love badminton in high school. It was super easy with the shuttlecock.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the little white thing's called the shuttlecock.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, you've actually done most of the intros for this, and I've only done like maybe 10.
That's being generous.
Yeah, or I don't know. You always just like...
It's not about who does the intros. It's about who just shows up and enjoys themselves. And I think we do
show
that
up and
most
enjoy
weeks.
myself.
It's not about doing the intro. Intro is like so. No one really cares about the intro. If you're clicking on the name and the title of this episode, chances are you're going to watch through to the end. Hopefully. Anyway, if you don't, before you do leave, drop a like, a comment, subscribe to the show on whatever podcasting platform you're listening or watching on. We greatly appreciate it, and share this thing out. Like we never really, I guess it is kind of begging for views and shares and,
like we're just being like,
validation.
Hey, there's this podcast I listen to. We
should probably consider like doing like a little ad at the start or the end, like just a copy and paste type of clip.
I did brainstorm some ideas.
Yes, right. We never got around to doing them.
Yeah, so
let's throw it right at the start and kill the retention of the episode. So again, if you're listening to the pod, drop us a rating and review on any app of choice. That'd be greatly appreciated. We enjoy showing up every week. We do a decent amount of research and editing and promotion stuff on the back end. Not that matters, but we do in like you showing up, and we're grateful for everyone that shows up and listens every week. So
100%.
It is growing from week to week, which is awesome. But we're not here for like money or notoriety or anything. We're just here
but
to
if you want to donate us some money, so we won't say no.
There's no way of donation at the moment.
No. Should we always, I think at least every third episode be like, wait for our Patreon, we'll set something up or... Yeah, we'll get around to that eventually.
Do a Patreon, and there's one called Supercast now. I think it's for more bigger podcasts. But we're going to get around to doing a website probably soon, next couple of weeks, I think, where we will add like transcripts for the episodes.
Yes.
A bit like potentially more links and stuff, because we do reference heaps of stuff and we never really add show notes in. So that's something I want to get around to. I guess these are just the enticing points to stick around and listen to the pod, and potentially maybe a newsletter. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Just like a brief summation of the episode, perhaps, or even things that we added in the episode, but the things that were left over. I know like H3 do that Leftovers podcast.
Yes, they do.
Is that what the premise is, or am I just taking the name?
No, they have it. They have leftovers. They've got like an after hours one. They've got the normal one. They've got the after hours one, which is usually like the R-rated sort of content, and then they've got the leftovers, which is everything they get around to talking about.
Yeah,
and we have a lot of leftovers.
There's always a lot of leftovers.
Yes.
Or just things that we're interested in, but not necessarily that wise or knowledgeable about. That are worth adding. Like you had in like Tucker Carlson and that getting fired, but like we don't really know what their status is in terms of American culture or news culture. So like we can't really comment that much about it, but it is like a pretty big noteworthy news article for the week, but it's not something that we have any knowledge about worth commenting on, but it might fit in a newsletter perhaps.
Yeah.
If we have, maybe can link to someone else doing a better breakdown of what's happening.
Yeah, because they're pretty notable over there. But like for us, I guess, would that be like our version of Alan Jones or like Carl Sanderlands or something?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like an Alan Jones
controversial. Yeah, but we don't know too much because here in Australia land, we don't really get a lot of Fox News. So
yeah, we don't really. I mean, there's all sorts of. Like, we're watching the news the other night.
Were we? Oh, the project.
It was that one time that we didn't eat dinner in that room. We ate dinner in front of the TV, and we'll just throw a project on. And what were it's like, let's throw in a clip about a kid at Anzac Day Parade saying something silly for 2 seconds, or let's throw in a clip of there's some zoo that's got people dressing up as seagulls.
Oh, because the seagulls are like stealing people's food.
They're just trying to throw in these little like entertaining good news sort of tidbits, but like it's not real news.
I feel like an old person or like a boomer saying, what happened to the news when news was news?
I know. You gotta go to like scummy podcasts like ours to get any sort of real
data.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's data half the time.
Opinions?
We could get a fact checker.
We could. That's what a producer's for.
We do need to produce. Oh, again, like we don't really throw this out there, but we need a producer. Someone to just manage the laptop for me. Yeah, would be nice.
So you can just like chillax. The best. Who says chillax anymore? Like I am really old now.
A lot of the best podcasts, they always have a producer that either handles that, but it's also just a third voice.
Mm-hmm.
So like you and I are in agreement a lot of the time.
Yes.
So you just need someone to be like, hey, that's not right, or to laugh at a joke that you don't get or I don't get or something.
Could you imagine if I said, no, we're never in agreement, but I said yes because we're always in agreement?
It's the type of joke that the producer wouldn't laugh at.
You never know. Depends on their humor. They could just be like a silly kind of humor, be like, ha ha.
But if you live in Sydney, and would you even that's the thing? Would you even want someone that's like a friend or a fan of the show to work for you, or you just want a purely someone outside of your realm that just doesn't have an opinion about the show to be involved?
You probably want someone who like kind of knows, you know, a little bit, I guess, about us and like our theme, our humor and all that kind of thing. So then they can add in stuff or like research stuff that we would be interested in. Because if you have like just some like stoic dude or woman or whatever just sitting in the corner.
In Sydney.
Yeah, or just like sitting in the corner, just like staring at you like stone faced, then it's just kind of like you can't bounce anything off of that. So you need someone with like a bit of personality.
So you need someone, a bit of personality, not quite as good looking.
As you, yeah.
Well, that's coming out of your mouth, or as funny. But something we're looking at getting at some point in the show, because we're at episode 64 now. We're rolling. Mm-hmm. I think we can just do like a brief summary of like what we're up to, because we've made so many different plans for this show, even from the start of this year.
Yeah, 100%. We even had like a live like brainstorming session on the show as well. But
we never got to any of it. It's just making clips is hard. It's a good way to get discoverability for a podcast, is to have those short vertical clips, and I will get around to them, but it's a lot of time.
Takes a lot of time.
We have a few AI software things that we're looking at the moment to help with the promotion, but even like, that was the main thing I was getting at. Like we don't really follow through on our plans.
Yeah.
But we were doing 2 episodes a week, 30-minute ones at one point, and then we're like, we give it a try. This is the thing we're good at. And we mentioned this also in our
podcast
seven lessons from 50 episodes thing. Is just like, just keep trying, keep iterating, try new things. And that's something that we did. We tried the 30-minute ones and we enjoyed them. But we were filming them back to back anyway. And by the time you like stop recording, start again, get back into the flow.
Yeah, change the shirt for like, you know, to show it's like a different episode.
Yeah. It was helping in terms of keeping like the viewership, like the wave of incoming views on like Spotify and YouTube consistent. I told you not to yawn, you're about to yawn.
I didn't. I internally
You're holding it in. Cheekbones are like
sucking in.
It keeps the views consistent throughout the week, but like that's like not, we don't really like, at the end of the day, who cares? Like we enjoy doing the 1 hour ones more. Yeah. So we're doing what we want to do more.
With the half an hour ones, like we were talking, but then usually with the hour long ones, we get a little bit more deep, or we just have a better flow and stuff going. So like stopping halfway through when we've just got like, not the clunkiness, but it's just like brushed off like the cobwebs or whatever. Like we have to start a brand new episode and start again. So it's just eventually down the track, would love to do 2 1-hour episodes a week. That'd be mad. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Or just one solo and then one with the guests.
Yes. Yeah.
Would be kind of cool. But yeah, there is a huge benefit to doing 2 30-minute ones each week. And that's purely just to slide into the algorithm with more thumbnails and titles. But
But I think that was more feeding into like that YouTube, so like Spotify rhythm, rather than doing something that we actually wanted to do and we actually wanted to enjoy. So I don't think we ever really properly addressed it, but that's why we're doing hour-long episodes because we just like out of nowhere we're like, hey,
we address new things we're going to do, but then we don't address when we revert back to the old ways.
Yeah, but again, like that's like learning and growing and trying new things. Like I'd rather try and not fail, but like realize that we didn't like it than to
try and realize. Yeah,
try and realize rather than not doing it at all and just having that, I wonder what it would be like if we did this kind of thing. But at least like now we've tried and we know.
I'm realizing I probably need another coffee because this is cold.
Well, you got a weird can there. Like I've never seen
can.
A weird can.
It's this week's sponsor.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the sponsor?
Naked Life.
I wish we had a sponsor.
Why?
Could you imagine?
Why would we need a sponsor though?
I don't know. Maybe some... be able to afford a producer, to pay a producer.
True. Or the cost of this show is racking up incrementally.
I know, it's all coming out of our own pocket as everything usually does, but like we've, ordered a second camera and that's going to, be fun eventually when that
We need a third camera realistically to make it like full snappiness. But like that's I mean, even once we add that in, it's going to cost more money to like produce an edit or something, like or something. I don't know why I'm saying or something. It's going to cost more money and time to like. You're about to yawn again.
I'm not yawning.
You go like this, like you've got a gobstopper here in your mouth. Sorry, I shouldn't. It shouldn't bug me, but it does. I don't know why.
You're not boring. I'm just tired.
I didn't say that. Now I'm doubting how boring I am. Naked Life, this week's sponsor. It keeps you calm and full of, well, there's no sugar in it. Full of fizz.
Yeah, full of fizz. I wonder. When you open it, I'll have a little sip to see if it's any good. Is it like a caffeinated one?
I've never had one.
Okay.
It's just like a
calm.
Does it have caffeine? Because maybe that would
Is
help.
calm like a good thing? Do you want to be calm during the podcast? 4 calories?
I need more calmness in my overall day-to-day life. I just feel like a nice cold drink that wasn't full of sugar.
Fair enough.
Or like a Powerade. I want some fizz. I want some.
We were talking about a little bit of fizz this morning.
Were we?
Yeah, like with old mate. And then I was just like, feel like a little bit of fizz in the morning.
Yes.
He had like the Pepsi bottle and stuff. So
yes. Yeah, drinking Pepsi at 7:15 in the morning.
it's probably not the best idea.
Well, it depends how long you've been up.
Yeah, that's
It's like
true.
that ad that used to have, what was the ad? Was it for like Kellogg's cornflakes or like Special K's? Like your taste buds don't know what time it is. It's like the catch line.
That's very
Tagline.
true. Your taste buds don't know what time it is.
Do they work on a circadian rhythm, like from the time of waking? Because I know with caffeine, you're supposed to wait 90 minutes
Yes.
after waking. But what if you wake up at 2 a.m.?
Then do you wait 90 minutes and then have a coffee at
4:30, 3:30.
3:30?
I tested you there. You failed easy math.
Too agreeable.
equation. That's exactly right.
Too agreeable.
Exactly. Yeah, whatever he says. He's a mathematician.
Yeah, he's good with numbers. You are.
Yeah.
I'm not the best.
And we're 15 minutes into the episode already. So that's great. Some interesting things happening this week in the hustle. You're about to yawn again.
I know. Because you keep acknowledging it. You keep talking about it. My gosh, maybe if I got a proper one out, then it's going to stop. Let me have some more coffee.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, just some carry-on themes. Just every episode, but like referencing previous episodes. It's almost like these episodes are coming like serialized because there's like always follow-ups to the news articles and stuff, right?
Unintentionally, but you can, if you wanted to, just go back and listen to any random episode. You don't need to listen to them in sequence. Something sequence.
Do we need to stop and start again?
No, we're already 15 minutes in. We're not. What podcast does it all the time? Is it Bad Friends or like Tiger? Like what was the What's one of the main dudes in that one who's always like, let's stop and start again?
Bobby Kelly.
Yeah,
No,
Bobby Kelly, Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee.
Yeah, he would. That was like his ongoing like joke thing. He'd be like, just making everybody start again. Yeah.
Anyway,
Start from the beginning.
deep breath. See, too agreeable. Why don't you should have been like, no, I don't want to do a deep breath. Okay, so following on from last week, I don't want to touch too long on AI because it's like everywhere you turn, it's AI. I've been meddling with it here and there. It's an interesting topic, and as I said last week, it's just going to be every week. There's potential to add new AI news in, and
100%.
we don't want to like become an AI podcast.
No, that's not what we're about. We're just about hustling and doing your thing.
It is interesting. We'll bring up stuff that we're interested in anyway. But following on from last week, you can bring this up on the big screen. The bulk of last week's episode was about the AI Drake song with The Weeknd called Heart on My Sleeve?
Something like that. Heart on sleeve.
Heart on My Sleeve. And since then, the musician Grimes, Elon Musk's ex-wife?
Ex-partner? Ex-partner of some sort. Baby mama? Yeah.
Has come out and said she's willing to split 50% of royalties with AI-generated music that use her voice. So she's kind of getting ahead of the game. She knows that it's going to be a while before like all of the copyright laws and stuff are in place and like realistic and credible in terms of actually being able to like fight things. And it's going to be a wild, wild west for a little while. So she's come out and said she will be split 50% royalties on, this is directly from her tweet, I'll split 50% royalties on any successful AI-generated song that uses my name. So the keyword there is successful, right? She knows there's going to be a bunch of ones that don't. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of ones that aren't going to be successful. So you're going to yawn now, make me yawn.
You're making me yawn. It's contagious.
Yeah, why is yours contagious? That's another pod for another time.
the main sorry, we're getting hella sidetracked. The main point being that there's going to be a bunch of people that want to use different artists and their voices and stuff using AI tracks, but not all of them are going to be like successful. Like even just using ChatGPT now for ourselves, like not every prompt is going to have like a decent outcome.
No.
And then even with music, obviously there's like more emotion and stuff tied to it, and like in terms of timing and beats and sound, and that have to be got on right compared to just like a text or a sentence from like a chat AI chat generator. I'm losing myself here. But the main thing is she's aware that there's going to be heaps of stuff that's put out there, but only some of it's going to be successful. And the stuff that is successful that generates money is where she'll split the money.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I know Grimes like as an artist, but in the grand scheme of things, compared to like I guess Drake or The Weeknd or artists like that, like is she really that popular, or is she just popular because she dated Elon Musk for a while and he's always in the media and her name's attached to it?
That's not a male saying that. It's you saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I would give her all the credit in the world. I don't know any of her songs.
No, I'm not saying she's not a talented artist. She is a talented artist, but I'm saying popularity-wise and the amount of people that like her.
Well, maybe this is a way to overcome that.
Okay.
Maybe now that people are like, oh, I know the name Grimes, but like, I'm not too familiar with her, but she's come and said this, then instead of like working in the background trying to do AI versions of every other artist that I think is cool, why don't I try and like make some money, because she said she's going to split royalties. So if I spend my time here where I know I'm not going to get any sort of lawsuit or copyright infringement, and she's opening up the book, basically putting her voice as like an open source, then maybe I'm going to focus my attention on Grimes compared to when I wouldn't have put my attention on Grimes because I don't know the artist. So potentially it's just like a good PR for her brand.
Well, that's what like I'm trying to get at, because like imagine if someone like Taylor Swift said that. She's already popular enough as it is. Like she doesn't need like 50% royalties or needs any more like press or media and stuff. So yeah, like I'm like, if someone like Taylor Swift said I'll split 50% of my royalties, like more people are probably going to make songs with Taylor Swift compared to like Grimes. I'm just like saying popularity wise, like are people actually going to be making songs and will they be successful with Grimes?
Yeah, I mean, time will tell, right? Is the reason that the Drake one blew up is just simply because it was Drake?
Yes.
Or was it because it was a good song?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, is it the actual like talent behind it, or is it because every song that Drake releases and even like The Weeknd and stuff, they blow up because they're that popular?
Yeah, that's a good point. So even like 50% royalties, unless it's getting played on every Spotify account,
every radio station,
then like there's not that much royalties to share to begin with. They might make a couple of $100 or something, and then there's going to be more. It's not like there's like a cap of like 5 AI generated songs. It's like it's going to get better and better and better and better. So like really, there's probably not that much money to be made anyway. It's a fun creative project for people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because I still think of like Grimes is like indie-esque. Like,
well, that's what she's saying. She has no label and no legal binding. So she's pretty underground. She does everything. I guess she owns all of her masters and everything like that.
Or even like Taylor Swift is starting to do that. She like re-recorded a whole bunch of her music, so she has like the rights to it.
Yes, but well, she has the funding to do so.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just like an interesting point. Like,
I think it'll be a week before you hear a song. There probably already are songs, but again, it's like, is it going to like make a Spotify playlist where everyone hears it? Is it going to get played on the radio? Is it going to be on a YouTube video, featured on a YouTube video or in a movie or on a soundtrack? It's probably not. It's probably just like going to be like a average song. Yeah,
or like, is there going to be a record label made because of this? And they're like, we specialize in AI generated music.
Well, is her voice even that distinct that you'll be able to be like, this is a Grimes AI thing?
She's pretty distinct, I like to think.
I don't even know any of her songs. Name one song?
I don't know any of her songs either, but I've listened to the music before.
Can you replicate what she would sound like?
No, I can't. I'm not a talented singer. Maybe you Google one of her like favorite songs, like best songs.
Are you just trying to get us like copyright striked or what?
What happens if we get copyright striked?
Well, we have to share any revenue made of this episode with her, 50-50 probably.
We're not making any revenue yet.
I don't know. Like, I don't think there's any benefit to playing one of her songs.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't even name a song. But if it was like Madonna, it's pretty distinct, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm like, yeah, is it?
Maybe this would bring out faded out celebrity musicians out of the woodworks, but that don't have the same voice they used to have.
Right.
And they want to make a bit more income. Like there's so many, you go on Ticketek right now, and there's so many tours of all these bands that haven't toured since like 90s that are like in their 50s and 60s now that just need a resurgence into their bank account and just doing like a 20-year anniversary tour. And you're like, I haven't heard of this band forever. They just need money probably.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, you know, the OG classic, like Johnny Farnham, like he cannot sing like he used to at all. Like it just happens. Like if you don't look after your voice as a singer, it can diminish really quickly. But even then, like it just happens with age. Like it's like your muscles, right? Like you just, the more use you get, oh no, that's probably a really bad analogy because usually the more use you get, the stronger you get. But I mean, just like with age, you just tend to get less.
Yeah. I think I'm more interested in not so much original songs. Like the Drake song it could be, if it was him singing it, it could be slid into one of his albums and like fit into the greater catalog, right?
Yes.
I'm more interested in like the mashups.
Gotcha.
Like, you know, this is like a poor example, but when like Elton John does a song with like Eminem, you're like getting two worlds combined in one. But like once you start getting AI to do that, that's what I'm interested in. I like a bit of
genre mix.
I like a bit of fusion.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, people that wouldn't necessarily match up together, like 50 Cent and Britney Spears.
I can still see that happening. Give me a more obscure example.
What about Harry Styles and Ja Rule?
I can still see that happening.
What about?
Give me like opposite ends of the spectrum.
Okay, I've got let me think. Pink and who else? Wu-Tang Clan.
I can kind of still see that happening.
Is it because like I think it's because of Aerosmith?
It's pop and hip hop. You're putting hip hop and pop together,
right? And
hip hop pretty much is pop.
What about Metallica and Pink?
That's better.
Yes, metal is like because hip hop will go with anything, right?
Well, like hip hop is pop. You look at the like.
Well, it's the most popular
charts.
genre.
It's definitely the most popular genre.
What about
last example? Make it good.
What about Slipknot and
go way out there.
Slipknot and
Beethoven.
Someone's already passed. Interesting. Okay. Beethoven.
Baitslot.
But like classical music can be like very metalized though, if you think about it, because it's like da na 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 da na na na. Just add like guitars
just hear like double kick in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine like just Beethoven wearing like a Slipknot? Like, do they still wear like the dress up and stuff?
I have like AI in my brain. I can just imagine the song and the visuals straight away.
Yeah.
Was Beethoven like Beethoven?
Was Beethoven? What? You're about to ask a question.
No, like cause my brain's just fizzled out.
Right.
And I was just started thinking about Beethoven, the dog movie.
The big Saint Bernard, right? Yeah. They just got into so much trouble and had like the drool. Yeah. Beethoven. Mm-hmm. Was that your favorite dog movie?
Because then you could do Saint Bernard and then Saint Anger with Metallica. You could do some sort of cross up.
You could. Yeah.
Figure out a new topic while I have a sip of this coffee.
Well, what else do we have on the topic agenda? Like that was... What about your links? Do you have any good ones?
Well, flip it back so we can have a bit of a surprise.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So something else that I was interested in this week, we talk about apps a lot over here.
We do. Over here on the Look Mum Pod.
What's it called?
The Look Mum Pod.
What's it called?
The Look Mum Hustling Pod.
That's what it's called. And we've touched on like TikTok and that vertical video thing, like format so many different times, right? Of whether or not like TikTok's stealing data and sending it to China.
Yeah, like Reddit was incorporating it.
All the apps are doing that vertical style now. Mark Zuckerberg has recently come out and done their latest quarter earnings.
Mhm.
You're yawning. I'm burping. It's not a good.
I wasn't even yawning just then.
No, I'm just testing you. Mark Zuckerberg has come out and said that people have spent 24% more time on Instagram after Meta have launched the AI-powered Reels. So bring this up. So how much time have you spent on Instagram lately?
Probably a little bit more looking at Reels only because I deleted TikTok off my phone.
So, like, how long ago?
A couple of months ago, 2 months ago.
I'm talking about like the last 2 weeks. Like, let's use the last 2 weeks as a time frame.
I'll probably have a look maybe like once or twice a day.
Do you feel like you're on Instagram? Don't just like play into this, but like tell me honestly, do you feel like you're spending less, same, or more time on Instagram? Specifically Instagram, the last couple of weeks, last month.
Maybe more, I would say.
Because I feel like the last 2 weeks in particular, like I'm on there, maybe I'm just in like a funk and not doing any work, but I feel like I'm caught in Instagram way more than usual, noticeably. Like I could probably look at like the old screen time thing, right?
Oh yeah, that's a very good call. Screen time on the phone.
The reason being the whole Reel system is now pretty much, I don't even know how to get it. It doesn't matter.
Just do the search on the screen time. So let's have a look. Let's see all activity.
I don't have it. What's it called?
Just search screen time.
I did.
2 words. Screen time. 2 words. So in the last week, I've spent 2 hours and 42 minutes on Instagram.
How do you find this info? See all activity?
Yes.
The last week. How long on Instagram?
2 hours and 42 minutes.
Oh, I was on 2 hours and 1 minute. Maybe I'm not even. I spent 7 hours on my camera. Took a lot of selfies this week.
Do a lot of photos and
then
stuff.
6 hours on YouTube.
Wow, 6 hours on YouTube. Mine's 2 hours on YouTube.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and then I got Kindle, so I've been reading a little bit more on my phone.
I spent 1 hour on calculator.
1 hour on calculator in total. How you must math a lot on your phone.
It must just be running in the background.
No, it's when you're actively using the app.
But I used it all on one day on a Tuesday.
Oh, really?
What was I doing? Like math fucking games?
Was it? No, because that was that banking day. Were you doing like some sort of like schematics?
Minutes.
That's so bizarre.
That's more time than Spotify, eBay, and messages.
You must have been left open on your phone or something and like you walked away from it. Has to be. Like that's...
Does this incorporate iMac as well? Anyway, we're getting a bit off topic, but
Topic is the word that you're looking for.
Anyway, I feel like I've been caught in Instagram a lot more recently, and it's because the way the Reels are fed to you now is all AI generated. So, like, the way that TikTok works, it's not based on really who you follow. It's based on what you're interested in, like your interest graph as opposed to your social graph.
Right.
So, recently, since the way Reels are shown are more based on interest rather than who you're following. It's a big gripe I have with Twitter at the moment as well. Half of your feed, like your main feed, is not people you follow. It's people that are adjacent to the people you follow, like a 2 or 3 degree separation. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to follow any of these people. I didn't follow them, so why am I getting shown their content? I'm
not as fussed with Instagram because sometimes I get shown like just good looking things because it's like, I think it's like a better, but that's probably understands my likes a little bit better. But like on Twitter, it's very annoying. Like I don't like.
It's kind of both annoying. I feel like we'll get into the topic in a second, but there needs to be perhaps a distinction in terms of the types of feed you can scroll through. Yeah.
Well, they say like they have like the For You and then like the browse, but even like the For You should just be like maybe like this is like similar to YouTube. You've got your subscribed ones.
Yes,
subscribed,
exactly.
And then you've got like the
For You, I understand it's recommendations, and this is something we're getting into here. So along with the Q1, this is from Social Media Today, along with the Q1 earnings report, which showed that Facebook usage has continued to grow in all markets, Meta has also shared some new insights into its evolving use of AI-based content recommendations. It's been leaning into AI over the last year. Mark Zuckerberg noting last July that it planned to double the amount of AI recommendations in the user feed.
Right.
At that stage, around 15% of the total content users were shown on Facebook came via recommendations. which was a little more than IG. According to Meta as of today, and this is April 26, 2023, more than 20% of the content displayed in people's Facebook feeds.
So they're just going to keep upping it every time.
While IG recommendations now account for 40% of the content shown.
Far out. Okay,
So
that's why I feel like in the last couple of days, not even like the last week, it feels like it's been more stuff that I don't know.
Yes, and it is fun. Like, this is the thing, I'm getting caught in it and I'm watching it, which is good because it's entertaining. This is like a whole point that the topic that I wanted to discuss is social media is now entertainment with AI recommendations. It's less social and it's now entertainment. Like, it's copying the formula that TikTok used, which is obviously beneficial, became one of the biggest apps ever made for a reason because it grabs people's attention and holds them there.
Yes.
I felt like I was immune to the whole TikTok virality of getting caught in this loop.
The loop, yeah.
But maybe I was just on defense in terms of the application that it was coming through.
Yes.
And now that I'm more familiar with Instagram, I'm trapped more easily.
Or maybe because you've used Instagram for longer, so it's more familiar, right?
Yeah, it's
so
the same kind of format, but it's just the same content, really. It's just I'm just more open to spending more time there because it's same as like hanging out with a friend. You hang out with them for 5 years, you feel closer to them than someone you've hung out with for 2 weeks.
Yeah. But even then, like on Instagram, if you're in like the normal like feed and you're looking through, like reels will pop up. And then if you click into that reel, then you keep looping and it gets you into the reel loop. So it's just like it just transfers you over.
On YouTube, I don't fall into that loop.
No, like I think it's because like on YouTube, shorts is still like new-ish and they have like a whole separate part to like that long form content. Like there's a very big distinction. Like on YouTube, you've either got your short form or your long form, but like on Instagram, it's
still
all
image
short form.
or video.
Yeah, because like images are still short form.
It's also the intention of time used when you go to that platform. When you go to YouTube, you're like, I go there because I want to watch something generally more than 20 minutes long. When I go to Instagram, I just want to fill in the 3 minutes spare that I have.
Yeah, while you're waiting for a coffee or doing a poop or whatever.
Waiting for you to wake up and from yawning.
Just wasting a bit of time.
But the main point I want to draw to this is that, AI recommendations on Instagram in particular account for 40%.
That's huge.
But somehow you spend more time on Instagram, which is interesting because I work from home and you'd think I'd have more time to procrastinate, but apparently not. The arrival of TikTok, the approach of which has the approach of recommendations has shifted, with TikTok's algorithm focusing on each individual post, not on who you are connected to necessarily. That's a step away from social media as such and more towards entertainment, which is why TikTok has repeatedly noted that it's actually an entertainment network, not a social app.
Right. Interesting.
So that's the main thing I wanted to touch on. And because of that, Zuckerberg saying that people were spending 24% more time on Instagram after the AI-powered Reels, which we now know.
That's pretty good stats, like 40%. For a company. Like once you launch something, you'd be like, it's just like, just to reiterate, like, oh, this is a success. Let's keep doing it. That's really, really interesting.
They had a positive, so where is it here? The company didn't break down the daily active users for its Reels product, but Meta said the monthly active users on the company's family of apps rose by about 5% year on year. Because I know the last couple of quarters, it has been down a little bit. And there's a lot of layoffs and stuff as well to account for that. But in the last quarter in particular, it's bouncing back. And so it says here, Meta reported a 3% year-on-year revenue growth in the first quarter of 2023, reversing 3 consecutive quarters of revenue decline. So they're making more money now that the AI is feeding more stuff, keeping people on app longer, more ads are getting shown, business is growing again, which means it's going to feed more AI recommendations to the point where it's going to be
like
100%.
Everything you're getting shown is just like all AI generated recommendations. You don't even get to see the people that you follow.
Yeah. And it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and like whinge about it. I know every time there's like an algorithm change, people that are running businesses and stuff are like, my posts aren't getting shown and they get butthurt. But it's not something you can control. All you can do is move with the times. I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing. Like, I'm aware that I'm getting caught in more loops more easily, and that's on me to have more discipline and more restriction and boundaries with the way I use the app. But if I'm posting stuff, you just have to play the game that's put in front of you. Like, what can you do? Like, make your own app, and it's not going to happen.
No.
You just got to deal with the way it's moving, and then depending on if you're a creator or a consumer, just move with the times. So it's only going to get more and more focused on AI recommendations into the future, and that's just something to be aware of. And it is what it is. Like on Twitter, it's doing the same thing. You're just getting shown people you've never seen before. And some of this stuff is interesting, but it makes you kind of over time not want to go on the app as much.
Yes.
Which potentially is the reason why there's all these other apps getting built. Like we mentioned Blue Sky, which is Jack Dorsey's new Twitter alternative. There's actually another Twitter app. I think it's called T2.
T2, yeah. Well, like going on like the whole like Instagram thing, if it's got that 24% increase and it's successful right off the bat, then they're just going to keep pushing it and keep growing it. It's just going to keep getting better. But T2,
well, there's an article here from Fast Times. Is it called Fast Times?
Yeah, there's one called Fast Times.
Fast Company. 6 Twitter alternatives for the Musk-adverse. So there's like more and more alternatives popping up, but it's like, at what point is it worth trying one of these apps if there's nobody on there to follow and stuff? Yeah.
No, that's the whole point, because like you have Twitter's been around for so long, and I think that's why it's still sort of like relatively going around, but there's heaps of people that are just like upset because of the blue tick fiasco and all that kind of thing. So it's just going to be interesting. I think it's just more, I think a lot of people at the moment are just watching and seeing what happens, just letting everything fall where they may. So you got the people that are, you know, rallying and like upset and like loud about it and like, let's go over to this platform instead. But like a whole bunch of people that just like, they're just like casual users of Twitter, just like waiting and seeing.
Yeah. So this one's showing there's Mastodon, there's Post, there's T2, which is currently you need an invite to join. There's Blue Sky, which we've mentioned before, which is like an early version of Twitter. So people are starting alternatives in the case that Twitter does just unravel. But no one wants to, like, starting a whole new thing from scratch is a lot of work. I was actually reading in one of the newsletters I got the other day, a bunch of, it was on TechCrunch, but it's going to be hard to find.
Well, it's just like, think about like Clubhouse. That was like huge when it like first launched. Like, I don't really... Like, I haven't heard much about Clubhouse being in the media compared to all these other companies. Like, is it even still around? Do people even still use it?
So I've seen a bunch of new apps that were sort of projected to be one of the next big ones to blow up, right?
Right.
They're not in one particular article, but I probably won't be able to find it. Like, there's a new app Mark Cuban has for streaming content on TVs.
Right.
So it's basically... Imagine, I think we mentioned it in a previous episode as well, watching stuff on TV, but then interacting on your phone.
Yes.
So there's like this thing called Fireside. It's like kind of linked to TV networks. So for example, if someone's doing a cooking show, you can interact and comment live on your phone, and it shows up on the screen.
Like a comment feed and stuff. Who's Mark Cuban? His name sounds so familiar.
He owns one of the basketball teams.
Yeah. Is he just like a business dude?
No, he's hella rich, yeah.
Yeah. Mark Cuban.
I can't remember what he's actually built.
So who's he's known for? Film producer. Okay.
He's on Shark Tank. That's the thing.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find this. But there's a Be Real alternative called No Cam, I think it is.
No Cam. But actually, Be Real are doing really well at the moment. I remember like seeing an article maybe last week or the week before.
No, they're not. I just read the article the other day. They're like tanking.
Oh, I thought they were doing really well.
I'll have a look in a second. We're just going to make this an app episode. So there's one called No Cam, unveils a social video app that's like Be Real, but meets TikTok challenges. Basically, you actually can't see what your camera sees.
Ah.
So it's a new social video app called No Cam. Radical idea of making social networking more authentic. It's turning off the camera so you can't see how you look when filming. The idea is to make capturing a moment feel natural while reducing the friction that comes with seeing a preview of your own image.
This feels like too Black Mirror-esque.
Well, did you see the new trailer?
No.
There's a new season coming out.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, the trailer came out yesterday.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies, man.
Really?
Yeah, Black Mirror is so like
good actors. Like the
it's so good.
The cast on this season is going to be insane.
Well, it gives you the heebie-jeebies because like this could actually happen.
Well, what, a new app?
No, like stuff that happens in Black Mirror. That's why it gives you the heebie-jeebies.
I'm scared of everything, baby girl.
Yeah, no, I'm not good with horror.
There's also another app. I can't remember what it's called. It's basically limits to 100 posts.
Right.
So all you can do is the most posts you can ever have is 100.
Like within a lifetime.
Yes.
So you have to do like delete ones and.
Yeah.
Right. What would be the purpose of that?
I don't know. Just an idea.
Okay.
What's the purpose of Naked Life? Thank you, Naked Life, for the drink.
But like, even if you had like just 100 posts, it'd just be ultimately super intensely curated, like the best of the best. So it's not even like a real life thing. It's just like it's your own personal art gallery.
Essentially, yeah.
I know people hate limitations. They want, a little bit more.
People like limitations, though.
I don't know.
There's a product for every person out there. I'll see if I can find this within the next 1 minute. Otherwise, we'll move on. But yeah, there's just basically my point is like there's so many new apps coming and going, and
oh yeah,
if they're going to be more like I want to follow people, I don't want to like be not told, but like have stuff shoved in my face.
Yeah, and I think that's why people always come back to Instagram. They always come back to Twitter. They always come back to Facebook because not only are they the oldest. But because they're the oldest, there's more people on there. The people that they know is on that platform just because it's been there since the beginning. So it's like, is there ever going to be any new app that's going to come over and actually wipe it all? Because like even TikTok, right? TikTok's been getting dragged through the media. People are not super enjoying it at the moment. And now because Instagram like are incorporating Reels and really taking that away, like does TikTok now have a lifespan? Like, is it only going to be lasting for another like 4 years and be like Musically and be like Vine and then just end up getting, tanked?
That's just the risk they have to take. They have to see where people are using the app, how they're using the app, make decisions accordingly so they have their own unique selling point. And then if people follow, people follow. If they don't, they don't. It's just, they have that second app called Lemon 8 now, which is the same concept, but with still images. And it still just has the for you feed. And it's good. Like the whole thing is to keep people on the app. Like I understand that. But I think that there should be a separation. Like how hard would it be to have a separation of tabs at the bottom of the page for people you follow and just have it in chronological order? Because back in the day, everything was chronological.
Yes.
Even for the last few years, it hasn't. Because it's been like a mix of, it's been people that you follow, but like randomized in terms of the way it's shown on your feed.
Yeah, you'd be scrolling through and
at the end of the day, we're nobodies if we don't have any say or have any knowledge of how algorithms or social platforms work.
No, we don't have Mark Zuckerberg on speed dial and be like, hey, Mark, can you just fix that algorithm for us, please? Thank you.
We don't fix. He's like, excuse me?
I have fixed it. I've made it better.
Like, there's nothing to fix. It's perfect. It's making me trillions of dollars each.
Yes.
Each single day.
Did you find the app you're looking for?
No.
Trillions. It would be trillions, right? It'd have to be trillions.
Probably trillions.
Yeah. But then you have like, a million staff to pay, so it ends up being $2.
All right. Any one of these you want to talk about real quick?
I don't know. Like it's very random. Is like the Spanish woman stuff, which is pretty interesting.
Spanish woman stuff.
Yeah. Well, she was living in a cave.
Set up the story, please.
So there was this lady that emerged from a cave after spending 500 days alone. It was a bit of like a social experiment just to see how long human beings can really survive on their own. But the interesting takeaway from this was like the sense or the loss of time. Like she came out and thought like, oh, I thought I had more time. Like she didn't realize how much time had passed because it messes with your like sense of time because you don't have the sun, you don't have that kind of thing to really like dictate what time of day it is.
So she did it on purpose?
Yeah, it was an experiment, like a science experiment.
What did she do down there? 500 days?
Yeah, she thought she had more time to read books and stuff. Like it was just very bizarre. Of like,
I'm still
anchored in November 21. I don't know what's going on. I've come out of the cave.
She's like lost. Like think about everything that's happened in that past year.
For me, it is still November 21, 2021, and seeing you all in masks, for me, there is still COVID. So she's down there with like a TRX band and just
Yeah.
doing like workouts.
Yes.
How did she eat
Just-
now? What did she eat?
Like it's probably just like space food, like canned food and stuff, or like they were dropping food down into it potentially.
Why did she do this?
Like it's just super interesting. So there's a dark cave 70 meters below Earth. Lost track of time after day 65.
I have so many questions. Where does she poop? How does she eat? How does she bathe?
There'll be like a combustible poop thing, because like all like camping gear
It's a
and
cave
stuff.
though. It's just gonna like waft around the whole time.
Yeah, I'm sure there was like a levee system where she would like put stuff off, but like the whole thing was like no daylight, anything like that. So just like in the darkness had like the LED lights and just like completely wiped her sense of time.
Major vitamin D deficiency.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, did you see when she was sunken almost when she came out? But all the things that happened, like you wouldn't even know about ChatGTP. You wouldn't even know about like
That's
the bloody
your concern.
No.
You mean AI's taken over?
No, but like, you know, like the war in Ukraine, like all these kind of things, like so much happens in such a short amount of time. Imagine like not knowing anything for a year. It's like being in a coma or whatever and popping out and be like, what's going on with the world?
Well, it's bad enough when you watch like Survivor or that Alone series where they go on for like 30 to 90 days.
Mhm.
Like a lot happens. Like how often do you watch Survivor and it's like one of their family members has passed away? You're like, I was gone for like 14 days.
Mhm.
How does like a life-changing event in my circle happen?
Yeah.
Like what are the odds of that lining up? It's just like, yeah, so much can happen in such a short period of time.
Yeah, let alone like a whole year. Like imagine
Or a
everything
year and
you
a
have
half
to
in this case.
yeah, everything you have to catch up on. Like it was just a very interesting concept. And because like we live in such like a consumerism, like information, like attention sort of grabbing age, like being withheld from like that whole entire time, it's almost like a detox in a way. But yeah, like it's like we
It's
think
like van life on steroids.
yes, like we think
Cave life.
yeah, cave life. Maybe that's a new YouTube series.
Imagine if you could work down there with a bit of Wi-Fi, did some online work, and you can save every single dollar.
Yeah. You just deck it out, you know, put some carpet in there, you know, put some like,
God.
I don't know, nocturnal plants, like, you know, you like just make a little cave
Nocturnal
home.
means they get sunlight at some point, though.
Oh, really? Isn't there some plants, like what about, you know, those underwater plants or whatever, the ones that like deep ocean? There would be some that that thrive on no light whatsoever.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think nocturnal means like 50-50, though. They just come out at night.
Right.
They still need sunlight to like photosynthesize.
Yeah. I know like plants literally rely on the sunlight to like grow.
Old man whiskers plants. They just need air. Like an air plant is what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's an air plant. Yeah. Air plant.
Air plant.
Yeah. But just like it was just like an interesting concept. I was reading and just be like, it's so bizarre. Like, yeah, just that whole sense of time, because like I go on about like losing time all the time, but could you imagine just like realizing that noise? Really can. Thank you again, Naked Life, for sponsoring this episode. Tasty?
Tastes like a watered down passiona,
Well, there you go. You do love the passion fruits.
especially watered down.
Yeah. Would you live in a cave for 500 days?
No.
No? You'd get bored so easily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's a tricky question.
Unless you had like a stack of books to read.
Yeah, even then.
Yeah.
500?
It's a long time.
Maybe 50?
50
That's
days.
that's like 10%.
Mhm.
50? Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine like you don't even know when the sun is rising and stuff, that you're just purely relying on like listening to your body and be like, all right, I'm tired, I'm going to go to sleep now.
Well, this is the thing about like jail and prison.
Mhm.
Like, why do they put you in prison if you've done a crime? Like, what are they taking away from you?
Your freedom.
And if you're even bad in prison, what do they do then?
Take away your like personal rights as
Social
well, right?
interaction.
Yeah.
They put you in the hole so you
Mhm.
can't interact with anyone. This is the hole on steroids by yourself, 500 days. So, and it's self-inflicted too.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So if it's like self-inflicted, I guess it wouldn't have as much of like a negative connotation as compared to someone that someone's forcing it on someone else. Like if you didn't want it to begin with, then you're just not mentally prepared for it. And all you keep thinking about is like, why has this been taken away from me? But if you're doing it to yourself, it's more of like a discipline thing. It'd be like, all right, I'm doing this. This is my choice. I can get through this. Like it's very like two-sided spectrum.
I'd probably say 50 days max for me.
Mhm.
What about yourself?
I I could probably survive maybe a bit longer than that, maybe 100 days. If I had a gang of books, I'd miss you though. I'd miss you terribly.
What would you eat? Just like hot, spicy
noodles?
Noodles?
Yeah, just noodles nonstop. No, I need some good food dropped down and maybe
AG1, our other sponsor.
Yeah, AG1. It's sponsor of everybody's podcast. Yeah. And I'd probably need, some sort of exercise equipment, yoga equipment. Yeah.
Just the mat.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd be okay with like the silence and stuff. You kind of like music and that kind of thing playing in the background. So I think you'd struggle with the silence.
I do make up a lot of songs though.
You do make up a lot of songs. You're actually quite talented lyricist. I'm not good with my words today at all.
No, generally never are.
Excuse me. I'm usually pretty decent.
I should have said we.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's move on to something else, slightly more interesting, because it was good that you didn't bring an art article this week with someone destroying art.
Yes.
Because it is your go-to
It is my go-to when we don't have anything. It'd be like, how about this random thing that we've never talked about once before?
So this is a little bit off topic.
Is it an art one?
No, but you can create art with it.
Mm-hmm.
So just something different to bring to the table, because we like how listen to our pods, and we mentioned at the start that we want to have a website so we can put like a transcription version up of the pod, because obviously not everyone is fully able in terms of having all their senses and stuff available to them.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I came across yesterday because you bought a mouse pad and a new mouse for the computer the other day.
Yeah, I have a little setup.
And then I came across this, which is called the mouth pad.
Okay. Mouth pad.
Well, let me get into it.
Okay, sorry.
You're making fun of a very serious topic here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just realized that every year around the world between 250,000 and 500 people suffer a spinal cord injury. Okay, I apologize for laughing.
That's fine. You didn't know. This is a mouse, a computer mouse for paraplegics.
Right.
So kind of interesting technology advancement that looking at it, I thought it may have existed previously, but apparently not.
Okay.
But it's just interesting that there's plenty of people that are like getting car accidents. Like you just read here, there's between 250,000 and 500,000 people suffer spinal cord injuries every year.
That's pretty crazy.
But in a world where if you're stuck in a wheelchair for life and you can't use your limbs potentially, like you still want some sort of fulfillment or be able to like have some sort of job or role or have some place in the universe, right?
Yeah, or even just like some sort of form to like communicate. Because didn't Stephen Hawking not invent, but like had the blinking system?
I think he had the way his eyes.
Yeah, the location that he moved, like his eyes or irises and stuff, would be correlation to like the letter of the alphabet.
So this is the same thing, but it's a mouse, like the ball of a mouse, on your tongue.
Oh.
So watch this YouTube
because the tongue is a very strong muscle, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am living with quadriplegia.
I broke my neck in 2006, so it's been 17 years since I've been paralyzed.
I jumped from the back of a pickup truck, unfortunately, bent my neck backwards, and here I am.
I've already lost my front teeth from years of having pens and smashing my face off of a quad stick.
When I was first injured, I was trying to learn how to use like voice control to like type and do all my papers and homework, and it was so frustrating. That was part of just dropping out of school.
Imagine how people like try and write with having a pen in their mouth.
For people with quadriplegia to use in order to interface with their computers or their smart devices, and there's almost nothing.
So introducing the mouse pad. It's so awesome.
Oh, it's like a mouth guard.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can double click on it.
Yeah.
Like you said, your tongue is very strong.
I'm interested in using technology in order to overcome all limitations.
So yeah, so it's like if anyone that's, if you're just listening right now, so if there's anyone that's had a retainer, it looks like a retainer, but it's got like a flat bit underneath, and yeah, you just move your tongue like on that flat bit.
The tongue has a unique ability to be very nimble. It can learn.
Thank you.
So I'll just skip
The
through a
mouse
bit.
pad
Yeah.
is an intraoral interface that lets you interact with computers without hands.
It rests on the top of your mouth. So this essentially enables you to use your tongue in the same way you would
Bluetooth.
use your finger to interact with a trackpad, control your cursor,
You can
activate
edit
clips,
videos,
what have
play
you, to
video
control your
games.
computer.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, like this is how it
Write
should be. It's very
things.
seamless.
Yeah.
It's very easy to use. It's very intuitive.
Click on your phone and call someone would be like a game changer.
How insane is that?
Far out. Like that's like seems like such like a simple concept. Like,
But
'cause
it
you
just
think like it's like a
open-
trackpad on a like a laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just opens up so many possibilities for people that are like still have all their brain faculties but just don't have access to like using their limbs. Insane.
How crazy is that?
Insane.
That's so cool.
Just a cool little invention that, you know, I thought might have existed before, but apparently not.
There'll probably be like some maybe, but I think like the way it's designed seems very inconspicuous as well. Like it's not just like a big thing. Like that's
yeah,
so good.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like even double clicking left and right, like all of that stuff.
Yeah. You'd think, yeah, like you both saying like this should have been like invented by now. Like I feel like, yeah, it could have probably been invented like 5 years ago.
It could have been.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah. So it's called the augmental mouth pad.
Mouth pad.
You could even, there's applications even if you're not paraplegic. Like you could still use that in everyday life. Like using a mouse is not the most fun experience.
No, it's not super organic either. Like our hands aren't like meant to be like wrapped around like a ball thing anyway, and like clicking and
Some
stuff. That was evil. Sorry about that laugh. Were you trying to be like naughty with that?
What?
Anyway,
Just cup it.
yeah, just cup it. Just
Yeah.
cup the ball.
Balls.
Fair enough. But yeah, like for most people, it's still like a natural thing.
To cup balls.
Yeah, to cup balls, but like I guess moving your tongue around quite a bit is a more natural thing, I
Yes.
suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, and it builds your cheekbones up
Mhm.
as well in the meantime.
Get like some Zoolander like model cheekbones, some definition in there.
You could.
Yeah. That's like it's like every now and then, like there'll just be something that's like amazing technology wise and be like far out. Like people do invent things to be able to help other people and like to help society and help humanity and stuff. And they're just not there to like grab your attention, like build something purely just to grab your attention, make money, you know, just like have ads or whatever it is. Like there are people out there like building these things to help others as well, which is pretty cool.
But think about this compared to the Stephen Hawking eye thing.
Mhm.
This is, think about the ability of your eyes to control things.
Mhm.
You have to look a certain way. Like it could be exhausting going left, right, up, down. Like, whereas your tongue, there's so much sensitivity and different regions of the mouth. You can like, you can roll your tongue from side to side, up and down. You can like press down. Like there's so much more available using the tongue compared to the eyes.
100%. Like, how often are you like just like rapidly moving your eye from side to side? But like when you're talking, like I'm thinking while I'm talking now, I'm thinking about it, and like my tongue is just like constantly moving within the mouth to make certain words. Yeah, like it's already built up in there, like it's already moving around quite a bit. But your eyes generally tend to be like, you know, straightforward, looking at someone most of the time. They're not constantly moving around.
Just crazy.
Hmm.
Just, yeah. I thought it was a heartwarming thing to add to the pod this week.
I think so. And it's a great way to finish it off as well with like a lovely sort of like, oh, it's good that, you know, humanity, we are in it for each other, you know.
Yep. Because, you know, AI is right around the corner
It is.
and people that are paraplegics need to use AI too.
Yeah. And like, I think what was the whole thing is like, I don't know, eventually we're going to like use our minds to be able to control everything. That's
Well,
very
that's
much.
that's the next step.
Yeah, that's a very long way down the
mind
track.
pad.
Yeah.
Mind pad.
Mind pad. Yeah. Just like
Just
thinking
like
about
shake your head
moving
like
it.
that.
Yeah. Moving that around. Yeah.
And guru. All right, that'll be it for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm not going to do an abrupt outro this week. I might just do a promo at
A
the
promo?
end.
Yeah, go for it.
Just
'Cause you
front,
always-
the top end tail of the episode with a call to action.
Yeah, because what a lot of people don't know, Drew will like suddenly cut it off and then you'll like hit stop the filming, and I was just like, where'd that come from?
So if you've gotten this far to the episode, please do leave a comment below. If you're watching it on YouTube, let us know you got all the way to the end. If you haven't, then this doesn't really apply to you.
No, but yeah, let us know what you think. Like, we value feedback. Like, we can't grow as like a podcast, or grow like as a channel, or like grow as like people making some content if we don't get some feedback from you all. Like, do you like the hour? Do you like us going through news articles? Do you prefer us just to go like off the cuff and just like talk about whatever? Like, just let us know what you think, or what you'd like to see from us. What you've liked before, even. Like, yeah, just feedback is very, very important, whether it's, you know, to your partner, to even like feedback to yourself, to your family, at work. Like, feedback is just like a good thing to practice in general.
There you go. Some wise words from Sarah to wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.